Welcome back, folks. Isobe Food here. We're in Brooklyn. It's snowing today. Perfect day just to sit on the couch, relax, and let a pot of bone broth simmer away. Bone broth is packed. Trace minerals, glycine, collagen, amino acids. Look, we're talking immune-boosting, delicious goodness. Really, really simple. There's 10 minutes of actual work here. Loads of payoff. You're going to have so much broth on hand to make soups out of, just to drink, to do whatever you want. Let's get started. This recipe calls for 4 to 5 pounds of beef and pork bones. Be sure to get a mixture of marrow, shoulder, knuckle, and rib bones. Oxtails and short ribs are also perfect. Place your bones in a large stock pot and pour in enough cold water to cover them by 1 inch. Over high heat, bring the mixture to a boil. Cook at an aggressive simmer for 20 minutes. This step helps to remove the majority of impurities, fat, and nasty bits that discolor and taint the flavor. Be sure to skim and remove the scum and fat off the top. Next, drain the bones in a colander and place them in a roasting dish to water. Scrape the bottom to deglaze and release all of the fond. Add the drippings to the stock pot. Pro tip: keep a Tupperware in your freezer and add in leftover vegetable trimmings from 1 to 2 tablespoons of whole black peppercorns and 2 bay leaves. I also eventually added in a tablespoon of fresh thyme leaves and a sprig of fresh rosemary leaves. These herbs and spices are my preference. You can do whatever suits your tastes. Pour in enough cold water to cover and bring to the simmer. Skim off any foam that rises to the top. Once to the simmer, reduce the heat until you have small bubbles gently breaking the surface. Add in 1 tablespoon of cider vinegar, cover, and let simmer for a minimum of 8 hours. The longer you simmer, the more flavor you extract. I let the stock go for 12 hours, and this is what we ended up with. The next step is to strain the stock of the large bits, then pass everything through a fine mesh sieve with cheesecloth. This will remove all of the tiny particles. The next thing to do is to let the broth cool. You can put the pot in an ice bath or simply add ice to the liquid. The point here is to cool the broth as rapidly as possible to a safe temperature before putting it in the fridge. We want to avoid the temperature danger zone that promotes bacteria growth. And word of the wise, throwing a piping hot pot in the fridge is a bad move. This will decrease the temperature of the fridge and potentially spoil other items. Once the broth is chilled overnight, you can easily remove the solidified fat on the top. So there you have it, folks. Homemade bone broth. So what can you actually do with this? Well, besides from drinking it and getting all the health benefits, you can braise meats with it, use it instead of water to make rice, use it for pan sauces and gravies, and my personal favorite, make udon soup out of it. Don't forget, be sure to season it with salt to taste and use it within 5 to 7 days. You can also freeze it up to 3 months. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a joy to make for you. As always, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.